Hey mamas, it's Kristen Noel, founder of the Intuitive Divorce, and I'm popping on here straight after class with my beautiful team member, Master Coach Joe Young. And we got out of a class with a lot of feelings because this is where we feel the feels. And it was so interesting because I'll recognize themes that are coming up in sessions and in communications with the mothers that are in our program. And there's a lot of cross pollination here and a lot of things that people are going through, commonalities. And one of the things that we decided we were going to talk about today was simply helping mothers recalibrate in the moment, in the heat of the moment, when they're feeling triggered or when they're feeling upset or that there's an old pattern at play or something arises. It's like, what do we do in those moments? And and it's funny because the actual best thing that you can possibly do is to pause and to reconsider, what do I need in this moment? And I know that sounds like the simplest question on the face of the earth, but let me ask you, when was the last time you asked that question, if ever? And if you're a mama here in this realm of the intuitive divorce, you're probably juggling a career and your children and your feelings and your marriage and your community and now your divorce. And you're probably a people pleaser and a fixer and trying to control things that aren't yours to control. And that's a lot to carry. And so when we just keep going in that mode, inevitably something goes awry. Inevitably something comes out sideways because we can only, shove those feelings and shove all of that aside and pretend and put this facade on that everything's okay and I've got it all together and I've got this and I'm, you know, for so long. We can only do that for so long. So we began this class by really asking everyone to kind of just reflect on, how was your week? What happened? Like, if you were to like just kind of like do a quick little review of the last 7 days between our classes since we last met, can you think of a moment or an encounter or an experience or a conversation or some exchange that may have triggered you? Um, and you may have reacted in a way that you wish you hadn't. And again, we don't bring this up because we want to shame or blame or guilt or any of that, because I'm sure you do plenty of that on your own. We want to interrupt that like completely because that doesn't serve us. What we can do in those moments is gather the intel from it. What could I have done differently? And what's underneath the what I could have done differently? What had I needed in that moment? What did I need in that moment that I ignored, that I bypassed, that I tried to pretend away, that I stuffed away, that what did you need in that moment? And sometimes that can simply mean I just need to take a time out. I need to go into another room. I need to put an end to this conversation. I need to create a boundary, whatever it is. It doesn't have, we're not necessarily talking about bubble baths. Nothing against bubble baths. We misconstrue this with just self-care, like, oh, I need a spa date or I need no, no. What I need to know is, what are my needs? What are my wants? What am I ignoring? What am I trying to pretend doesn't matter? Because if I'm running around trying to attend to the needs of everybody else, you know what you're saying to the cells of your own body? My needs don't matter, at least not as much as everybody else's. So, boy, oh boy, oh boy, did this conversation stir the pot today. Because not only were the moms in the group going through a lot of things, because that's what happens, week to week in a divorce, a lot of life unfolds in those in-betweens. But when they started to reconsider it and started to think about it, lots of emotions bubbled up and we celebrated that. And the reason we celebrated that is because that is the sign of seeing the interconnectedness of old ways of being and transformation and the discomfort of that dance in the middle. And what do we do with that? So that's probably a good place to start, right?
Yeah. It was a class packed with lots of information, lots of feelings, lots of conversation. And, it's so funny. Kristen and I were laughing at the end of class because it's always fun to walk away from a class feeling like there's a big shiny bow on things at the end. But the reality is, that's not always what's needed,
Mm,
right? Since we're talking about needs, sometimes what's needed is just to get it all out and let it sit there. Sometimes what's needed is to learn how to understand that when things are uncomfortable, it doesn't mean that they're not safe. It doesn't mean that we aren't still taking steps. And it was funny because when you asked the question, what did I need to do in the moment when I realized there was a trigger? My immediate response was what we told them was, this is when you do nothing. This is when you take a step back, right? The pause. You pause and you give yourself that opportunity that the trigger is there to provide. None of us like them, they're uncomfortable. But when we're triggered, there's always an opportunity for us to look inward and go, okay, why am I triggered? What need is not being met here? Or where am I not being seen? Or where am I not being heard? Or maybe I'm just so frustrated with all the things going on that what I need is rest because I simply can't take on another thing.
mhm,
And even that is important information. So,
mhm.
yeah, sometimes it is a bubble bath, sometimes it is a spa day, sometimes well, I will say always, the most important piece is to name what it is that you need because none of us are really taught to name those things. We're taught to shove needs aside, don't have needs, put everyone's needs before your own. All of those things that we learn sometimes outwardly in childhood, but mostly, they're inherently modeled for us. And so we take them on. But to be able to take a step back and realize, you know what? I came into the world as a baby and I had nothing but needs, right? I needed care. I needed love. I needed nurturing. I need attention. I need to be fed and taken care of. And guess what? Sometimes those needs don't go away. We have the same basic needs to be nurtured and honored and loved and heard and all the things. So somewhere along the line, we made it not okay to have needs. So we are reframing that. It is imperative that you learn that your needs are here for a reason, that you're a human being with needs. And so, what are they? And can you name them? Can you get clear about them so that you know the next steps to take? You know how to take care of yourself. You're saying to yourself, wow, my needs do matter because I matter. I matter to my kids. I matter to my coworkers. I matter to all the people in the world, and I matter to me. And I'm here for a reason. So it's a lot, but it's very simple. What do you need? Can you name it? And then can you listen to it and pay attention to it and honor it?
It was so funny also because oftentimes we will start celebrating someone and they're looking at us like, what are you celebrating? I'm in tears. I just had a really shitty week. And did you just hear what I just explained to you? And we'll say, yes, we celebrate that because we see that you recognize this. I'll tell a quick story about one mom today who was talking about how she really just got to this point where she felt like this isn't working at home and this isn't working in my work, and I kind of had a blow up at work, and I see that there's a theme and a connection, that it's the same feelings, and we were like, exactly, exactly, we can only compartmentalize for so long. And she used this term, right sizing, and it really stuck out to me, and so I wanted to come back to that and explore what that meant to her. And then Joe, you put so beautifully, helped her put the word to it, which was prioritizing. And it's like if I'm not prioritizing my needs, no matter where it is, whether it's at home, whether it's in work, whether it's with my kids, whether it's in my community, whatever it is, whatever aspect it is in your life, if I am not prioritizing my needs, things are going to go south. And when things go south, it comes out. It comes out in an interaction at work. It comes out in an unexpected encounter in the grocery store. It comes out in an encounter. And the bottom line is, in and of itself, none of these things are the end of the world. But what they do is they cause more chaos. They create more
Yeah.
chaos within you and without, on the outside, and just more for you to clean up, more for you to deal with. And God only knows you don't need more right now. Your plate is full.
Yeah.
This is about
We
less.
think if it is about less, and we think if we ignore our needs, put them on the back burner because everybody else comes first. Lord knows women are so well programmed to do that, right?
It's
We
like a
think
it's like
if
a
we do
badge of
that,
honor, right?
yeah, we
Yeah.
think they're going to go away. We think they're going to dissipate. We think we'll just be okay. And it's quite the opposite. What happens is our needs get louder and they start showing up in other places, and they aren't to be ignored. That's how we're wired. They're not meant to be ignored. And so they're going to get louder and more pervasive and more irritating. And, we often have moms who come and say, I don't know what it is, but I'm so easily triggered right now by every little thing. And it's like, oh, yeah, because you're at capacity, because you haven't allowed yourself to have those needs and give them an expression, give them a voice. Believe it or not, just by naming the need,
Mhm.
I can remember just going, I need a break. And it was like, oh, I actually need a break.
It's like, then go
I
take a break.
actually, yeah, exactly. But it's like I felt so much better just by acknowledging I can't keep ignoring. I can't keep pushing it down. I can't keep acquiescing to everyone else.
Mhm.
I have to start to honor myself. And somewhere along the line, we were taught put ourselves last. And the bottom line is when we do that, we got nothing to give to anybody else.
Mhm.
We're not coming from a full place. We're not coming from a place of being able to give. We're coming from a place of exhaustion. So, needs play a really, really big role in how you show up day to day. And again, it doesn't have to be some massive thing. It can simply be just start by naming it.
Mhm.
Naming it, claim it, listen to it, and where can you give that attention for a moment, even if it's
Mhm.
5 minutes?
Mhm.
Can I just go give myself a break for 5 minutes and breathe and not think and not deal with everybody else and just give myself whatever it is I need?
And if you're the person that has shown up for everyone at all times for everything, shoving your needs to the side
With your cape on.
with your cape on, your Wonder Woman cape, I mean, this is going to be a little uncomfortable at first. And
Yeah.
you're probably going to be the loudest voice in your head, criticizing yourself because you feel like I still have to do this. Even when you're in a divorce, we had one mom that was in tears today because she set a boundary. And when she set a boundary, her husband had a reaction. And his reaction is to weaponize and use words against her and make her feel bad about herself. And what happened? She ended up feeling bad about herself. So we really workshopped that. It's like, why did you feel bad about yourself? Why did you give your power away like that? We can't control his reaction to no. That's like having another child. No, as I always say, nobody likes no unless they're saying it, unless they're the one that's delivering the no. So he has a reaction to that. It's a little uncomfortable for you to say, no, I'm no longer available for that. But that does not make you a bitch. That does not make you some terrible, selfish person. It actually makes you really solid, grounded, clear mother who knows what she needs and is honoring that and is saying, I'm at capacity. And by the way, we're in a divorce now. You might just be in the beginning. You might just be in the messy middle of it. But guess what? I'm changing the rules of engagement, and that's discernment. And I'm also renegotiating what I'm available for. And I'm having conversations with myself. And as we always say, it's the both end. I know I need to do this, and it's a little uncomfortable. But I
Yeah.
know that I'm doing it for the right reasons, my reasons. Because spinning out and doing for everyone, showing up for everyone because they want that, or they're going to weaponize or say something, weaponize something against me or say something bad about me, those are the wrong reasons. Those are the wrong motivations.
Yeah. We talked today about peacekeeping, when we think we're just going to put our needs aside because that'll be the most peaceful thing I can do. Keep the peace, keep the peace. And it's like, is that peace?
No,
No,
Joe. No,
that's
Joe. We know what that is.
avoidance.
That's avoidance.
That's avoidance.
You,
No, that's
yeah,
not peace.
yeah.
We've just normalized doing that. So it feels normal, but that is not peace.
Mm,
Peace is when we can say what we need. Peace is when we can honor ourselves, because when we do that, we honor other people as well. So we have to do some reprogramming here. And you say it all the time, Kristen. This is not just for divorce. Yes, it is crucial during this time. This is your opportunity as things are shifting and changing for you to step into a new version of you. But these are truly life skills. And they help you when you show up in the courtroom. They help you when you're navigating conversations with your attorneys, with your children, at work, across the board. They are life skills. And so, it's always bigger than the one little piece of the puzzle. Again, we can't compartmentalize, because when you shift as a person, you shift everything.
mhm.
And that's your beautiful opportunity. It's the great thing about being human, because you're still alive, so you can still change. You can still do things differently, right?
And it's
Yeah.
shifting from that my need to control to my desire to be curious. Think about that for a second. My need to control to my desire to be curious. What a beautiful way to go through life. We don't have to have all the answers. But as Joe was saying, when we get quiet, when we get still, when we just allow ourselves to ask a single question, what do I need in this moment? It's the single most powerful thing that you can do for yourself and for your nervous system. And you want to please everybody. You want to show up for your kids. You want to show up for the things that are most important to you and the people you love so much. Take care of yourself. Answer that question. What do I need in this moment? And by the way, you want to teach that to your children. You want to teach your children you have needs, you have desires, you have wants. You get to control how you show up in this world. You get to control what you are available for, what you're not available for. So it's that powerful, and it trickles out so far across the whole landscape of your life. So we want you to know that while you're listening to this, maybe you're new to us, maybe you're just divorce curious, or maybe you're already in the messy middle and you're starting to think to yourself, oh, hell no, I don't want to get into all that right now. I don't have time for that. Please, please understand you can't outrun your feelings. Don't try to outrun your feelings. I think outrunning your feelings is why you're here in a divorce. So the sooner you nurture and support and take care of yourself, the sooner you're going to heal and the sooner you're going to move through everything so much more differently, with so much more ease and peace and clarity and discernment.
We watch it all the time.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And yes, making those connections it can be a little surprising and a little bit uncomfortable, and also so absolutely wonderful and glorious. Because once you make the connections, you don't disconnect. You know this about yourself, and you can pivot much faster when something triggers you. You have the evidence that when this happens, oh, that's happening, so I can do this. I'm going to avoid that. So this is the kind of dialogue you have. Anyway, we just wanted to come in here and share some of this to keep it real, because today was a little heavy, because we were holding the space for moms navigating some really tricky stuff, because that's what divorce is. It can stir the pot. And I'll leave you with one last thing. One mom, this we hear this quite often. One mom was like, I really should just get over that. Feelings are not meant to be gotten over. They are meant to be felt. So we just want
Mic
to honor.
drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But I really just want to leave you with that. And I want you to know your feelings matter, your desires matter, your wants matter, why you're here in this divorce matters. And it's the exploration of your life. It's like the archaeological dig for your best self. So
Mhm.
please just be kind to yourself and also know that you don't have to do this alone. And that's why sitting in this container where literally we've seen it all, like moms coming in from their cars or in their offices, they're in their kitchens with their kids, whatever it is, they're making time and space for themselves, they're committing to this, and it's such good medicine. So we wanted to pop in, we wanted to share a little, we wanted to perhaps inspire you in some way. Most importantly, we want you to know you don't have to do this alone. So if you're not already on our newsletter, please check us out at intuitivedivorce.com. Get on our newsletter list, check out our programs and our app and our social media. We're constantly trying to put out ways to connect with you and to help you transform this experience and the outcomes of your divorce. And we want to put you on a better path to a better divorce. And we'd love to walk beside you. So we're just a phone call away.
Yeah. Don't forget this week, you matter, your needs matter. So take a few minutes and ask yourself, what is it that I need right now?
Mm, yeah. That's
Next
beautiful.
week,
Yes. Thank you
love
so
you.
much.
See you
Love you,
soon.
honey. Bye.